All right, part two. We found the pills in the trailer, and the good news is they don't fit, so we can turn them down to fit in there and save this whole thing, so we don't have to cut these yokes off and put new ones on. We might end up doing that anyway, though, so we can save all this stuff, all this adjustable stuff, as one unit. You know, we'll see. Depends on what kind of time we got. This is probably going to be a lot quicker than welding new ones on, and we can always, you know, drill up other ones to get that adjustable thing going. So that's taken care of. We found the pills. We got the braided brake lines. That was on our list as well. I didn't look for the fittings. I didn't spend a lot of time looking for the fittings. There might be some 90s, 45s, and straight beveled, I guess, compression fittings or whatever. We still have to get the fittings for the end of the tubes, right? The parts that you put on yourself. So we'll look around when it's not as cold. It's like 38, just 36, 38 degrees out here. My fingers are freezing already. When we got more time, we'll and it's maybe you know we got gloves on and our fingers aren't so cold. We'll go out and look again for some fittings and see what we got. If we got what we need, then fine. If not, then, you know, we can buy them. They're relatively cheap. We got a Parker store right by here that sells all that stuff. They even sell the lines pre-made in different lengths. But we're going to go with nylon brake line on this. We're not going to spend a bunch of money on this thing. What we did find is that we have no rear hubs. We have two rear brake rotors, 1.25 inches, and hubs for this car. One very small, one a little bit bigger. We have everything we need. We have the large Paul Martin front brakes, piston anvil, and the miniature Paul Martin piston anvil. So we're not exactly sure what we're going to use yet. The small ones actually came off the front of this car. It was just a 100cc controlled cart, you know. So I guess, you know, maybe they don't like to use front brakes, or they don't use a lot of it, or whatever. But we're gonna put some use to some front brakes. Another thing we wanted to do is we have these leftover pieces from making our wheels, right? We have the 1 5/8 backspace that we needed for our cart to clear those big tailgate brakes, right? So this is the front side of the wheel. The 2 5/8 pieces together made one wheel. Remember, if you want to look that up, go look at the Making Our Own Wheels videos, and you can see how we cut those all apart and did all that. But we bought two 5-inch wide wheels. They're 2.5 by 2.5, right? And two 3 1/4, whatever it is, that's 1.5 and by 1.5 inside. And so we just used what we needed to make that first set of wheels. What I was looking to do was hopefully being able to use a 2.5-inch backspace with these smaller front brakes that we're going to use on this car here. Let me show you what I was going to do. I pull out a hub and rotor and put the back side, that 2.5-inch backspace wheel on, and see if it'll clear. Let me get this thing set up real quick. See if it would clear this brake caliper, and it doesn't. This is the brake caliper we're going to use, and as you can see, there's a center line to that bad boy, and we're almost there, but we're right on it. Would a 2-inch backspace work? Maybe, but you know what? Best to just stick with what we know, right? So we have those two there. They're front sides, you know, and we've seen a fella just recently down in Daytona put these valve stems in backwards so he could turn the wheels around, you know. And so we wouldn't do that. We'd actually get these, we'd weld these up. We'd weld the hole up closed. So we have two halves that we can make two front wheels out of if we get the right front spacing. Now all this tire debacle and mess that we're playing with here, let me put you somewhere. I'll put you up here. All has been swirling around this idea that we can't get the 550 Dunlop tire anymore in 5-inch. You know, we were 5-inch bead wheel guys forever. So the 6-inch thing is new to us. We got a little experiment going with the 460. I think it's the R60 plain compound of the Hoosier tire. We love those Hoosier tires. I think we had an R60B and a 5-inch 710 on the rear. So what we're looking to do now is we're looking at Hoosier's now come out with a 650 6-inch bead, 650 wide, and we're going to put that on a smaller wheel to make it bigger around, because that's what we're going to need for Daytona. We're going to need more circumference because we've only got so much. We're very limited as to how we can gear this thing down physically, gearing it up at the engine without carving into the casing, and going down on the axle without actually welding nubs on the axle itself and making teeth out of them. So we're trying to solve future problems and some problems we have now. If we get this 650 6-inch on a wheel that works, we can actually get it on the car we're running now and get those wheels tucked in, or at least flush with the bodywork. Right now they kind of stick out. It doesn't really bother me, but it does kind of look a little goofy, you know. It makes it look like a jalopy a little bit, you know. So that's where we're at. We come out to check this thing out to see if we would clear with a 2.5-inch wheel. I didn't think we were going to, and we didn't. Even if it did just barely clear, the bead of the tire would be sticking out and it would rub. So we need probably to go with that 1 5/8. Van K makes a wheel that actually has an 1 3/4 backspace. That might work. That might clear these. But I got a bad taste in my mouth for Van K wheels since that Brian fella bought the company. We had him weld together some custom wheels for us out of 2-piece halves that he produces, and they got hot and distorted, and they were all, man, I wouldn't have put them on my starter wagon. They were so out of whack. But anyway, that's in the past. That's where we're at now. Standing here in front of the heater, warming up our hands. If the doc's looking in, that box didn't weigh any more than 15 pounds. We're good to go there. So we're going to go through that and find some stuff and start making new lists. The DOM is back. Brother Kenny brought the DOM back. It's turned down. It goes in a little, but then stops. As you can see here, let me grab you. The old Margay bumper, very much like that bumper over there, slid in and then a bolt went all the way through. So the tube is actually pinched. It's a little egg shaped. You can probably see it. So we'll send a punch up through, see if we can just knock it. You know, if not, that DOM's getting pounded in there anyway. All we really need to do is clean up that protrusion that's in here, so we can send that sucker in. And once we get past that point, we'll start popping holes in here and get ready to start welding. We got to clean up some of this slag here, clag on here. We weren't exactly sure if we were going to leave this here, we were going to replace it. It looks like it's a little too far forward for what we're doing, but you know, who knows? It's a 4-stroker, right? This is the T car. We're not going to get super technical with it, but that's it. That's where we're at today. 13th of January, I believe. Let's take a look. We got the calendar here. She looks like my Savannah. I miss my Savannah. Yes, 13th. So there we go. That's what we'll be working on, the things we were showing you. We had to come out and take a little inventory. None of the metric hubs, even though we got some stubby hubs, none of that are going to work because we want English or U.S. bolt pattern wheels. So we're not going to use any metric wheels on this thing at all. All the wheels will be English. The only thing metric will be the axle and all the components that bolt to it. That's it, folks. That's where we're at. Moving forward. Sun's out. Sun came up again today. That means the Lord give us another day to do what we need to do, right? That's it. Talk to y'all later. Godspeed. God bless. We're praying for you.